Good morning, Canadians. It is March 9th, I believe, Tuesday, in Toronto, Canada concentration camp. And the topic of my video today is about Google schooling and the effects it's having on children. So I was talking to my sister last Friday while we were at work, and she told me what happened to her son. She was on the phone call for hours with her son's school, because she found out her son had failed English, right? In high school, first year of high school, English. And his mark was 23%. 23%. He was failing miserably. Now, if you folks understand what that means, 23%. So let's say 10% of that mark is just for presence. The other 13%, I don't know what it is. But for a student to fail with 23% at English, if that doesn't tell you something, parents, there's a huge problem here. When we were looking at the email my nephew received, basically the whole classroom average mark was 60%. 60% is basically 55 is just a pass. It's a failing. So if you parents, you Canadians, please put your mathematical skills together and understand what happened in that classroom. 60% overall mark in between all the students, which if you divide that, it pretty much tells you pretty much every single student in that class was failing. Now, the issues my nephew was having with this Google schooling system, number one is getting clarity from the teachers. Number two, having a hard time finding the proper work. And number three, understanding what it is that is supposed for them to do. My nephew had a lot of issues throughout the year finding the work and understanding what needed to be done. And even when trying to ask the teacher, he was never clarified and he was still confused. Now, also, I spoke to my daughter last weekend when I had access to my kids, because I don't live with them. My daughter was complaining to me about, she's in a French immersion school, high school. And basically for the last month and a half, she's had a supply teacher for her French immersion classrooms that can't speak French, doesn't understand the work because she can't teach French, but yet because the real teacher, I guess, was absent, couldn't do the classroom for whatever reasons. This went on for a month and a half of a semester where my child also was being taught French by a non-French speaking teacher, and half the time when she tries to email the teacher because she's not understanding what is the expectation from the work the teacher is requiring, and the teacher does not reply back because even she doesn't understand what it is, the work. She just tells them, read it, I'm not sure, figure it out. Now, my daughter's not failing. I don't think so. I haven't seen her marks. I have to ask her when I see her next time. But the fact that these children are in school being taught by basically teachers who don't even care. Okay, my sister was not contacted once throughout the whole semester. There was no teachers meetings, no teachers attempts to contact my sister or my nephew's father about his poor performance in his classroom. Thus now he has failed an English course, and if you look at the work he was able to hand in, when he was able to figure out what he was supposed to do, he had high marks. But being lost with the system has caused them to fail a grade. You parents need to stay on top of this. You need to stay in touch with your kids' teachers because they're not contacting you. They're not letting you know how your child is performing. They're not helping out your child in understanding what they're supposed to be doing. This is bullshit. This is basically a system where teachers are being able to get paid while they're doing their laundry and just having their computers on just to make sure the students are there, right? Marking their presence so the Board of Education can collect for their presence. But nobody even cares about these children's performance. If they're passing, if they're failing, if they need help, they are not doing it. This is bullshit, okay? And this shit needs to end. The schools need to open up full capacity and start doing their jobs. Or the government needs to now start paying parents to school their children the same way they're paying these damn teachers who refuse to return to work, who refuse to take the full capacity of students who need to learn, and let the parents do the job. Because you know what? I'm sorry. You teachers are failing these kids miserably. And the fact that you lazy whatevers want to stay home so you could do your laundry and could do your cooking and could do whatever you want to do while you have a bunch of students at a loss who don't know what they're supposed to be doing. If that's what you want to do, then stay home, damn it. There's plenty of teachers out there who don't have a job, who would take the job on a whim. So how about you fire these teachers who don't want to return to work and do the proper education of our children, and hire those who are willing to teach? Because my nephew should have not failed. He is not a stupid kid. He is extremely smart. But because of this freaking bullshit, now he's going to have to go to summer school if he wants to move on to grade 10. Just thought I'd let you parents, give you some heads up. Not a lot of us, not every single parent's at home to make sure their children are not struggling with school. Me and my sister are those kind of parents. We have a life, okay? We have jobs. We need to provide for our families. And the fact that my nephew was failing and nobody even once attempted to contact the parents of the child to let them know the child was struggling with a course or 2 or 3, because every other course he did, he did it fine. There's a few that the teachers were not very good. Okay? This needs to end. Children need to go back to school. Seriously, man. Like, this is not even a joke anymore. You parents should be upset about this. It's not your job. The government is not paying you, okay, to educate your children. They're paying them. If they're not willing to educate, then stop paying them. It's very simple. Pay those who are willing to return to work and educate our future generations. All right, that's it. Thank you.